Hi everyone, a very good morning to all of you. I hope my audio and video is clear. Please let me know in the comment section so that we can have the class in a smooth manner. Good morning, Karan, Kevlin. ठीक है. So I welcome you all to the live mint analysis that we do every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. wherein we discuss some important news articles from the newspaper. We try to link it with the static portion and we do a few MCQs at the end. Okay, Kevlin. ठीक है. Before I begin, if you want to download this YouTube class PDF, you can do it from the Oliveboard app. Just go to the courses section. There's going to be a separate YouTube class PDFs folder. You can download the PDF from here. Now, what are we going to cover in today's session? Let's take a look at that. And I'm also sharing my Telegram handle over here. Mannat Educator is my Telegram handle. So you can connect with me beyond these sessions as well. Alright, if there's any doubt, you want to ask anything, then you can connect with me here. Okay? So what are we going to cover today? Firstly, we're going to talk about, the smart growth. That means we're going to talk about GDP growth and what is the outlook for this December. So we know that Monetary Policy Committee meeting is going to be held around 5th December. So हमारे क्या projections है related to the rate cut or the decisions which are going to be taken up, वो हम first article में देखेंगे. Then tobacco चेस नहीं है, सेस है ये, set to expire. ठीक है. Tobacco cess is set to expire. So we're going to check कि tobacco cess के बजाय क्या लगेगा, क्योंकि tobacco क्या है, एक sin good है. What is tobacco? It is a sin good. Can anyone tell me in the comment section what is the meaning of a sin good? So tobacco is a sin good and उसके ऊपर कौन सा cess लगेगा या कौन सा tax लगेगा, we're going to talk about that. Then we're going to talk about auto part companies. We have new rules for auto part companies, so we're going to discuss about that. Current account deficit of India moderates in quarter 2. We are going to see what is the meaning of current account deficit. Okay, and we are seeing that quarter 2 में it has moderated. Now, what are the reasons? क्यों current account deficit moderate हुआ है, कम हुआ है? We are going to check it out. इंडिया की इंडस्ट्रियल आउटपुट स्लोज टू 14-month low in October. So 14-month low पे गई है इंडस्ट्रियल आउटपुट. वी गोइंग टू सी द रीजंस फॉर दैट. एंड न्यू रूल्स फॉर बैटरी PLI ये है. उसके बाद हम कुछ फैक्ट बेस्ड न्यूज करेंगे एंड देन MCQ प्रैक्टिस एट द एंड. ठीक है. तो पहला आर्टिकल है यहाँ पे, स्मार्ट GDP ग्रोथ कास्ट्स शैडो ओवर डिसम्बर रेट कट. सो वी आर सीइंग दैट GDP ग्रोथ इज क्वाइट गुड, है ना. In quarter 2, we saw 8.2% growth, which is remarkable. Quarter 1, 7.8% growth. So we are seeing good, the GDP growth is good and we are not likely to see कि अब जो MPC मीटिंग होगी, मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी कमेटी मीटिंग होगी, उसमें रेट कट रहेगा. अच्छा, ये मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी कमेटी है क्या? देखो, 2016 से पहले, प्रायर टू 2016, जो भी मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी रिलेटेड जो डिसीजंस रहते थे, रेपो रेट कितना रहना चाहिए है, कोई भी मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी का जो डिसीजन है, इट यूज टू बी टेकन अप बाय द गवर्नर. सिर्फ गवर्नर लेता था ये डिसीजन. उसके बाद 2016 के बाद हमने डिसाइड किया कि नहीं यार, वी आर गोइंग टू कंस्ट्रक्ट अ मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी कमेटी मीटिंग, जहां पे कमिटी बनाएंगे, जहां पे सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट और RBI दोनों मिलकर डिसाइड करेंगे अपॉन द मॉनेटरी पॉलिसी डिसीजन. एंड स्पेशली कि हमारा आगे की ट्रैजेक्टरी क्या होनी चाहिए है, चाहे वो इन्फ्लेशन टारगेटिंग की बात हो, चाहे वो रेपो रेट कट की बात हो, किसी भी चीज की बात हो, चाहे वो हमारे स्टांस की बात हो, ये सब चीजें हम अपने स्टैटिक पोर्शन में गोइंग टू कवर इन डिटेल. बट दिस इज जस्ट अ बेसिक थिंग. Your homework over here is going to be, you're going to read about the monetary policy committee. ठीक है. जैसे इसके अंदर कितने मेंबर्स रहते हैं, हाउ मेनी मेंबर्स, व्हाट इज द कोरम फॉर द मीटिंग, ठीक है, एंड हाउ मेनी टाइम्स डज MPC हैव टू मीट, राइट, हाउ मेनी टाइम्स दिस MPC हैज टू मीट इन अ ईयर. ठीक है. So you have to see these basic things. It is headed by whom? MPC is headed by whom? Alright, so you have to check all these things. These are going to be the homework for you today, your monetary policy committee. Okay, so here RBI is saying that monetary policy committee is expected to keep the policy rate unchanged. What is the policy rate? Can anyone tell me what is the policy rate or the repo rate as of now? What is the policy rate or repo rate as of now? Cumulatively in this year, we have cut repo rate by 100 basis points. So what is the repo rate as of now? Yes, Kevin, absolutely correct. 5.5% is the repo rate. You have to know all these rates also. What is the scenario of these rates? You have to know what repo rate is as of now. For example, 5.5%. Also, what is the reverse repo rate? What is the CRR as of now? What is SLR as of now? Standing deposit facility as of now? What is marginal standing facility rate, bank rate? You have to remember all these rates. These are very, very important. Okay? So today only you're going to check out that what is the current scenario of these rates. These keep on changing from time to time. So you have to keep a tap on these things, especially before the exam. Okay? So the Monetary Policy Committee might not bring in further rate cut because inflation is moderating, nominal growth improving. Though, we do have some space of rate cut, but of course there are some uncertainties also, volatility also at the global or external level. That is why we're not going to bring in a rate cut. Okay? So there was this poll of 13 economists which was conducted. Out of them, 9 said that there's not going to be a rate cut, and 4 expect a 25 basis point cut from 6.5.5 in fact to 5.25%. Okay? So there's a divergence between real and nominal GDP. What they are saying is there's a divergence. That means real GDP is growing, but nominal GDP is slowing. Can anyone tell me what is the difference between real GDP and nominal GDP? What is the difference between the two, real GDP and nominal GDP? What we are saying is real GDP is strong, but nominal GDP growth is lower. Anybody, any idea what is the difference between real GDP and nominal GDP? This is very important. All this is part of your static portion that you do. Okay? Whatever I'm discussing with you, everything is part of the static portion. Okay? Because of this divergence between real GDP and nominal GDP, that is why rate cut is unlikely. देखो, real GDP means when we adjust nominal GDP for inflation, when we reduce nominal GDP, when we subtract inflation from nominal GDP, we get real GDP. So what they're saying is because this inflation has slowed down, we've seen now that inflation has reduced so much. So because this inflation has slowed down, so nominal GDP has reduced. That is what we are saying. Real GDP has a base year and nominal is calculated based on current year. Current year base year is fine, but the major difference is that inflation. Real GDP is adjusted for inflation. Quarter 2 में GDP growth for quarter 2 came in at 7.6%. This is for 24. Okay? Currently, if I talk about quarter 2, 8.2%. This year. Okay? Because government capital expenditure was good, manufacturing recovery, financial sector is resilient, inflation is also below the target, liquidity conditions are good. And all the liquidity conditions in the banking segment are good. Household borrowings, have increased because consumption has increased, consumption demand has increased. Fiscal situation is also good, fiscal consolidation is also good. Okay? So basically, what you need to know from here is all the static portion. Why did I bring that article? Abhi, it is not that important because Monetary Policy Committee meeting, when the meeting is going to be held, then we are going to discuss about everything in detail. But what is important here is Monetary Policy Committee. You have to do this as your homework. You need to understand. You need to check out the rates: repo rate, reverse repo rate, CRR, SLR, MSF, SDF, and a bank rate. All these rates you got to know. And you have to also know the difference between real GDP, nominal GDP. That is what I wanted to discuss with you over here. I hope this is clear. Next news we have is related to tobacco cess, which is set to expire. And health and national security cess is going to enter. That is what they are saying. Okay? So basically, tobacco tax structure is changing. Now, this new health and national security cess that we're talking about, this is also going to be levied on tobacco only. It's just that the previous cess which we used to, apply on tobacco, that we are going to remove, and we are going to bring in a new cess known as health and national security cess that has been introduced. Okay, so a bill has to be introduced which is going to impose a new public health and national security cess on tobacco. Okay, here I want to discuss with you the static part, which is what is the difference between cess and surcharge. What is the difference between cess and surcharge? Can anyone in the comment section tell me that what is the meaning of cess? What is the meaning of surcharge? Because what we are saying is that we are going to levy a public health and national security cess on tobacco. Why aren't we using public health and national security tax on tobacco? Why aren't we using public health and national security surcharge on tobacco? Why the word cess is being used? That is what I want to ask you. Till then, I'm going to continue with the news here that we were basically levying GST compensation cess on tobacco, but now we are going to remove this and we are going to bring in a public health and national security cess on tobacco. This is the news that they are saying. Now, why are we removing this? Because we know that this compensation cess is nothing but the GST compensation cess. And now this GST compensation cess that we are talking about, what is it? What is it? See, when GST was levied, it consolidated so many state taxes, which reduced the state revenue immensely. So, to compensate the states for this loss of revenue, the government had, applied this GST compensation cess to compensate for introduction of GST and the loss that the states are facing. So many products, this compensation cess had been levied for a few years. Now this is set to expire. This GST compensation cess is automatically set to expire over a period of time. So now we are introducing a new, cess over here. Why? Because tobacco is a sin good. Okay, tobacco is a sin good. Sin good means which is, you can say, it is harmful. Like Kevlin said that it is harmful for the body. It is not a good product. है ना? It creates health concern, right? So because this compensation cess is going to expire, so we have this deterrence based taxation, which is basically to deter the people to reduce their consumption, that there's a high tax on this, and to deter this consumption from the people, that is why we have this new cess. Okay, so this is the thing. Secondly, what I wanted to discuss with you is the difference between cess and surcharge. See, both cess and surcharge are different from tax because this is tax on tax. This is not an original tax, it is an extra tax on the already existing tax. The difference between cess and surcharge is that cess may the government specifically tells you, explicitly tells you where the money is going to be used. For example, health cess, education cess, cow cess. So this is levied on sin or luxury goods. Cess or surcharge both are levied on sin or luxury goods. But in cess, government is telling you that this money is going to be utilized for health purposes. This money is going to be utilized for education purposes. This money is going to be utilized for for the stray cows and all. But in case of surcharge, the government is putting a tax on tax. It is also levied on sin or luxury goods, but the government does not tell you that where this money is going to be put. Okay? In both the cases, money is going to be put for welfare purposes, but in cess, it is specifically told to you where this money is going to be put. And for in case of surcharge, it is not explained that where this money is going to be used. Okay? So the cess will be levied on machine processed tobacco products. So all those tobacco products which are made from machines, which is processed from machines like cigarettes, gudka, pan masala, snuff, smoking mixtures, all these things. Okay, we're going to levy a cess on these things. Fine. So old compensation is going to be removed and we are going to move to a two-rate GST structure. That is why we had tobacco products are under 40% GST. Above that, we are going to put a cess on this. Okay? Now, because of this cess, duty on tobacco will rise from 64% to 70%. Remember this. Okay? So we want to basically discourage the use of tobacco, improve compliance, on stricter labeling rules and all. ठीक है. So currently I told you that states receive compensation from the center, and now that cess is going to expire. GST compensation says, that is why we want to continue with the revenue stream also, and that is why we are bringing in a new cess. ठीक है. Plus, there have been amendments to the Central Excise Act. It will be amended to synchronize tax shift, provide fresh statutory mechanisms, strengthen anti-tax evasion framework. Okay, and how we are going to, how we are going to calculate the tax? How is this tax calculated? Based on installed machine capacity. Installed machine capacity in the sense the machines which have been installed to make gutkas and all. And based on that, tax is going to be collected. And about 2.69 lakh crore is estimated as total revenue that the center, borrowed to compensate the state. So not about tobacco products, they are in this 40% GST slab, plus they're going to have cess. So it is going to really boost the revenue stream as well. Okay? I hope it is clear. So you have to remember public, you have to remember that from GST compensation cess, we are moving towards a public health and national security cess. So what cess is being applied? Public health and national security cess. Okay? I hope this is clear. Next news is related to new safety and emission rules for the auto part companies. For the auto parts, we have new rules. Now, what are these new rules? Just a second. Hmm. No, it's not end of the PPT. Just give me 1 second. I accidentally went there. Okay, so we've completed the tobacco part, right? We are on auto parts. I hope my screen is visible now. No, it's not visible. And just 1 second. Okay. Okay, so new rules for auto parts. So we are basically trying to create good amount of opportunities for the uh, component firms. India is bringing new safety and emission norms, which is going to increase the demand for auto parts. So in the next 2 years, what are we going to bring in is we're going to bring in an anti-lock braking system. What rules? Rules related to emission, ensuring safety and controlling emissions. These rules will apply to what? Anti-lock braking system, acoustic vehicle alerting systems, AVAS for EVs, corporate average fuel efficiency, tractor emission norms, Bharat Stage 7, BS7 in future. Basically, these emission norms, emission rules, emission reduction rules, and now these safety norms, these are going to be applied on all of these. Okay? This is going to impact manufacturers. Which major manufacturers? Bosch Limited, Tenneco Clean Air Limited, Endurance Technologies Limited, Uno Minda Limited. Okay? So what are these firms doing? They are investing heavily on clean energy and all. They're investing a lot in that. So emission and safety norms related, what are these norms that we are going to focus on? Emission reduction. We are going to bring in Bharat Stage 7 norms. So these rules we are going to bring in. Which is, and what do these norms require? We have to reduce lower nitrogen oxide emissions. We have to lower pollution from diesel and petrol vehicles. CAFE norms limit average carbon dioxide emissions. So we are trying to reduce the emissions by putting in these norms. For example, Bharat Stage 7 norms, wherein we are going to lower nitrogen oxide emissions, lower pollution from diesel and petrol vehicles. We are going to bring in TREM 5 norms for tractors for fuel efficiency, reducing emissions. We have AVAS acoustic vehicle alerting system, and there's a pedestrian warning system. So although all the pedestrians that we have, for them there's a warning system. That use artificial sound for EVs and hybrid vehicles. There's a warning system, okay? Especially needed for low speed operation to alert the pedestrians of quiet electric vehicles. Okay, so that there is reduction in the noise pollution also. Then we have ABS demand, which is expected to surge for two-wheelers above 125cc. Okay. Then the focus is on capacity expansion also. ABS, this brake system production capacity will also increase from 640,000 units to 1.2 million units initially, and further expansion to 2.1 million units. Okay, capacity expansion plans are also there. Plus, automakers, they might face short-term costs, but in the long run, medium and long run, it is going to really benefit the overall scenario. So what you have to know is for auto company, auto components, we have new norms. What are the norms? What are these norms for? These norms are basically for emission reduction. What are these norms? Bharat Stage 7 norms, tractor emission norms, corporate average fuel efficiency norms, and AVAS norms, and then anti-lock braking system and all. Obviously, these details we are going to get in a few days, but you need to know that what kind of norms we are going to apply. Then India's current account deficit moderates in quarter two. Who's going to tell me what is the meaning of current account deficit? Anybody? See, in your balance of payments, there are two types of accounts. One is your current account and the other is your capital account. Right? Current account deals with the recurring transactions. Right? Current account deals with what? Recurring transactions on a daily basis. For example, you have to do some payment of salaries and all. Capital account, on the other hand, deals with assets and liabilities. Those kind of things which create assets or liabilities, for example, FDI or borrowings and all. Here we are talking about current account deficit. That means we are basically talking about imports and exports. When I use the word current account deficit, I am saying that my imports are more than my exports. That is your current account. So here we are saying is the current account deficit moderates in quarter two. Current account deficit has moderated due to lower merchandise trade deficit. Now, your current account includes goods also, which is also known as merchandise, and it includes services also, okay, which are known as invisibles. Merchandise or visibles is your goods, okay. So here they're saying is that merchandise trade deficit, that means import minus exports of goods. Imports minus exports of goods has reduced. This gap has reduced. ठीक है quarter one में current account deficit was $2.4 billion or 0.2% of GDP. Merchandise trade deficit reduced to $87.4 billion from $88.5 billion. And goods exports to US are strong. Okay, services exports have also contributed to the improvement. Services exports grew. कहाँ पे computer services, business services, वहाँ पे we have seen an increase. Private transfer receipts, mainly remittances, also increased to $38.2 billion. Balance of payments posted deficit of $10.9 billion compared to $18.6 billion surplus last year. So basically what you need to know is that current account deficit has reduced. What I wanted to discuss with you is that what is the meaning of current account deficit. Now your homework is that you're going to check out the different types, what happens when there is current account deficit. How is it covered up? How is this deficit covered up? This is your homework. How this deficit is covered up. Okay? Next, India's industrial output slows to 14-month low in October. So in IIP, we have IIP industry. Electricity generation fell 6.9%. Is it buffering? Kevin is saying it's buffering. Anybody else? Is it buffering for others also? Please let me know. I'll check. It looks fine. Acha, okay, now good. ठीक है. It must have buffered for a second, right? Okay, it was buffering a little bit, but I hope it's fine now. Kevin is saying it's okay. So India's core infrastructure sector, which forms 40% of industrial output, it recorded zero growth in October. See, you have to remember these IIP details. Obviously, before your exam, the latest IIP details you need to cover up, but you need to know how the sectors are performing, which sectors are performing, manufacturing, mining, and all, which are performing, how are they performing, good, bad, which out of these sectors are performing badly. You know? So before the exam, this is important. So again, I'm giving you homework here. Your homework is that you're going to read about index of industrial production, because recently we're discussing about its base year revision. So if you guys know that what is going to be the new base year, then write down in the comment section and tell me. IIP ka base year is going to be changed. And we are into discussions that by next year, by 2026, the base year is going to be changed of IIP. So you guys, if you know, write down in the comment section. Otherwise, you're going to check it on your own. Okay. Then battery PLI may get new spark as rules set to ease. So we have for battery, we have this production linked incentive. What is the meaning of production linked incentive scheme? Wherever this word you're going to say production linked incentive, what does this mean is that we are going to provide incentives like subsidies and all on incremental sales, on incremental sales. But we are not going to provide these manufacturing units or these businesses subsidies beforehand only. Pehle se hi we are not going to provide them. What we are going to tell them is that not beforehand. First, you show me an improvement in your sales. You show me that your production has increased, and then we will give you incentives. That is PLI scheme. So here we are talking about battery PLI. So India is trying to improve its manufacturing capacity for advanced chemistry cell batteries, which are very important right now for EVs and all. Right now, the use of battery advanced chemistry cell batteries, it is very important. We have this 18,100 crore PLI scheme. ठीक है? So basically, under this PLI scheme, there was limited success. The target of installing 50 gigawatt per hour capacity by December 2024 or by December 2025 is expected to fall short. We are not able to fulfill the target that we have under this PLI scheme. And because of these slow progress, government is talking about easing the rules and regulations. Fine. And we might extend the deadline also. So under this PLI scheme, we had a target. What was the target? That we need to install 50 gigawatt per hour capacity by December 2025, but we are not able to meet this target. So we might extend it and we might have new rules. So only right now, only two companies have begun processing these ACC gigafactories. Less than 10 gigawatt per hour. है ना? We have had around 7 gigawatt per hour worth of ACC units have been imported in the last 12 months, which is quite less. So minimum we need, the requirement, these complex rules that we have, complex rules around minimum 5 gigawatt per hour capacity requirement per bidder. These are the issues that we are discussing over here. Good morning, Mahesh. ठीक है? फिर restrictions like we have high basic customs duty. Customs duty is when we import, we have to put in, when we import from outside, there are tariffs because of which there are duties, because of which the price increases, which discourages the local companies. There are global supply chain issues. Then China also keeps on putting export ban on these graphite export rules and all. It keeps banning it keeps reducing its export, and also we want to reduce that dependence also. Okay, so government is now giving flexibility to the companies who need to build. They can build less than 5 gigawatt per hour capacity. Abhi tak what did the government say? That minimum at least 5 gigawatt per hour capacity you have to have. But now this limit has been reduced. Ki, theek hai, if you want to do it something less than this also, then also do. At least we'll have some kind of production of this. Hai na? And government might allow use of imported cells for longer period before full localization. So rather than focusing on complete localization, government might go slow. ठीक है? Fine. So why are we bringing these rules? Because India's demand is increasing. Over 12 gigawatt of lithium ion batteries last year we had imported from outside. That is why we are focusing on domestic manufacturing now. Okay? Then you have some fact-based news. For example, India mulls food equipment quality control order as China imports so. So basically what we are doing is we are putting up quality control orders. We've been discussing in our previous classes about quality control orders, what these are. Quality control orders are basically to ensure that whatever product is coming inside of the country, it meets some basic standards which are set up by Bureau of Indian Standards. So basic standards have to be set so that quality is ensured, so that substandard quality is not there. So what is the government considering? Quality control standards to be put on standard, or the imported machines, so that these countries like China, they do not sell us substandard machines. Okay, so that they give us machines which are of good quality. So you want to curb the substandard imported machines, and that is why government is trying to put up these quality control orders. The aim is to ensure safety, hygiene, performance standards. China accounts for 41% of India's $843 million worth of food processing equipment. And they do not sell us proper equipment, they sell us substandard machinery. Okay? We have seen frequent breakdowns, low efficiency, poor safety, product which is affecting the product quality and output also. So that is why we are bringing in these quality control orders, so that whatever machinery we are importing, whatever product we are importing from China, whatever equipment we are importing from China, it is meeting up the basic standards. It is meeting up the basic standards and following the BIS norms. ठीक है, India's food, if I talk about India's food processing market, it is valued at 30.50 trillion rupees, and the global packaged food market is expected to reach 2.3 trillion dollars. So this our food processing segment is very important. That is why we need to ensure that the product quality is good, and for that we need to ensure that the machinery is good. ठीक है. Although the negative side of this is that the equipment prices will increase by 20 to 30%, which is going to affect the MSMEs. Okay, so the government, what it can do is, in this case, it can maybe incentivize or subsidize the MSMEs. This can be a potential solution, right? And China dominates India's machinery imports due to low prices. Other major suppliers are Germany, Italy, Japan, Netherlands, Turkey. Okay, so this was your news. Then we have that the European stock markets dominate global rankings. See, European, the European stock market, it's not always in the top 20 category. So it is one of the world's, it has become among the world's best performing, 20 best performing stock markets. ठीक है? And every second market is European in this case. And why this is important? Because only 3 times in history Europe has achieved such dominance. Okay, because investor confidence is improving. Maybe this investor confidence, which I believe, I think personally, is because people are shifting from the US, and we are looking for alternative strong currencies. And maybe that can be the reason. Okay, and with a month left in 2025, Hungary, Slovenia, Czech Republic, they have surged over 60% in dollar terms. So you can see Hungary, Slovenia, Czech Republic, they are performing really well, and they are ranking top 10 globally. Germany is one of the largest European market. It recorded 20% rise in euros, 34% in dollar terms. We have Poland, Austria, Spain, they are also performing very nicely. And Europe's benchmark in stocks 600 index. It is closing. It is performing really well. Obviously, you don't need to get into the details. All you need to know is that people are shifting. The investor sentiment is shifting from US to European entities, European equities. ठीक है? Then Nepal gives China bank note contract. Now, why this is important? Let's try and understand. Nepal Rashtra Bank, it has given a major contract to China Banknote Printing and Minting Corporation, which is going to print banknotes for Nepal. 50, 500, 1000 Nepal rupee. These denominations are going to be printed by the Chinese bank now. Chinese security press will design, print, supply these notes within 9 months. See, why this is important is this shows that Nepal and China, they are closing many deals, they are getting along well, which is kind of a threat to the security of India. And the closer our the closer our neighbors go to China, the more threat India has. Okay, so this is what you need to understand from here. Okay, they are printing Indian territories of the, yes, they are printing Indian territories on the bank. We saw this news that Nepal may in their currency they are adding Indian territories in their own on their notes, which is a negative thing. And maybe we can kind of see this, Nepal and China relations. We are seeing these Nepal China relations going good. Nepal letting the banknotes being printed by China, which is a threat to the sovereignty integrity of India. And this is highly visible through this. Right? So that is a major problem. So these were the important news articles that I wanted to discuss with you. I hope that this is clear to all of you. Let's do a few MCQs and then we'll end the session here. Okay? First question. Which company has received the contract to design and print Nepal's new banknotes, including the updated 1000 NR denomination? Japan Security Printing Corporation, India Security Press, Nashik, China Banknote Printing and Minting Corporation, British American Banknote Company, De La Rue, United Kingdom. Absolutely correct. China Banknote Printing and Minting Corporation. What is primary objective behind India considering a quality control order for food processing equipment? to promote food exports from India, to restrict machinery imports from Europe, to increase GST revenue from machinery, to shift food processing units outside India, to ensure safety, hygiene, and performance standards for machinery and reduce reliance on low quality imports. Second question, what is the answer? Absolutely correct. To ensure safety, hygiene, performance standards for machinery and reduce reliance on low quality imports, especially from China. Because China was selling, a substandard uh, machinery and all, which was impacting product quality. That is why we have brought in these changes. Okay, third question. Which region dominated global stock market rankings in 2025 with every second index among the top 20 best performers? North America, Asia, Pacific, Europe, Middle East, Latin America. Again, a very easy question, direct question. Absolutely correct, Europe. है ना? Fourth question. What is the main reason the government is considering easing rules under battery PLI scheme? Due to slow progress and limited success in setting up ACC manufacturing capacity, to promote solar panel exports because scheme is close to meeting 50 gigawatt per hour target ahead of time, to shift focus away from EVs, to reduce GST on electronic components. Fourth question, A, C, C. The correct answer is A, not C. ठीक है? Main reason why we are easing rules for battery PLI scheme because it is showing slow progress, limited success in setting up these ACC manufacturing capacity. The target that we had, we are not meeting it up. So A is the answer, not C. Okay. What was the year-on-year growth rate of India's IIP in October, which marked the slowest pace in 14 months? Minus 1.8%, 0%, 0.4, 1.8 or 3.7%. Quickly give me the answer. Fifth question. I've received C as the answer. Anybody else who would like to answer? Mahesh is also saying C, which is absolutely correct, 0.4%. Very good. What was India's CAD, current account deficit, in quarter 2 of financial year 25-26 as a percentage of GDP? 0.2% of GDP, 1.3% of GDP, 1.1% of GDP, 2% of GDP, 2.2% of GDP. Sixth question. The correct answer is 1.3% of GDP, which is B. Absolutely correct. ठीक है? ठीक है, correct. चलिए, which of the following safety and emission norms are contributing to increased demand for auto components in India? CAFE 3 norms, TREM 5 emission norms of tractors, AVAS acoustic vehicle alerting system for electric vehicles, Bharat Stage 7 transition norms, mandatory ABS requirement expansion. 1, 2, 3 only, 2, 4, 5 only, 1, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2 and 5 only. Seventh question. The correct answer is D. सारे ही हैं. All these were mentioned. Why C, Karan? Kevlin, why C? The TREM 5 emission norms भी तो है tractors के लिए. We have seen this also. I'll show it to you again. है ना? We saw these norms also. All these norms are included here. For these auto parts, we have all of these. है ना? Let's take a look at it. हाँ, ये देखो. Bharat Stage 7 and emission reduction, TREM 5 norms, AVAS, है ना? We have these TREM 5 tractor emission norms only, na? All of these, anti-lock braking system, acoustic vehicle alerting system, corporate average fuel efficiency, tractor emission norms, Bharat Stage 7 norms. ठीक है? All of these norms are there. ठीक है? Okay. Next question. Consider the following statements regarding the new public health and national security cess on tobacco. First statement. The new cess will replace the GST compensation cess, which is set to expire once the center finishes repaying its compensation loans. The new cess will increase the total duty on tobacco products from 64 to 70%. New cess will be levied only on hand-rolled tobacco products. Amendments to Central Excise Act are planned to support new taxation framework. GST Council has proposed shifting tobacco to a 40% GST slab under a two-rate structure. Which of these are correct? 124, 135 only, 245 only, 1245 only, or फिर 1, 2, 3 and 5 only. Quickly give me the answer in the comment section. Read the question carefully and then give me the answer for your eighth question. Eighth question. Anji. Mahesh is saying C. Anybody else? 245 Mahesh is saying. What about you, Karan? Sudhanshu? Kevlin? Kevlin says D. Anybody else? The correct answer is D. 1, 2, 4, 5 only. So first is correct. Yes. It is going to replace the GST compensation cess. Okay. Second is correct. 64 to 70%. Fourth is correct. Amendments to Central Excise Act are planned to support new taxation framework. Fifth is also correct. GST Council has all these sin goods, they come under 40% GST. New cess will be levied only on hand rolled, not only it will be not only on hand rolled tobacco, but majorly this is on machinery. We saw na that cost will be calculated based on machinery. So machinery wala machine processed tobacco products is the answer. It is going to be applied mainly to machine processed, not hand rolled. Why? Because through this machinery installation only we are going to check out the cost. Okay? Consider the following statements regarding RBI's December 2025 monetary policy expectations. Most economists, they expect RBI to keep policy rate unchanged due to strong GDP growth. GDP growth in quarter 2 was the highest in 6 quarters, supported by government capital expenditure and manufacturing recovery. Retail inflation remains above RBI's target of 4%, limiting the possibility of a rate cut. Household consumption has been the strongest contributor to GDP growth this year. 1 and 2 only, 1, 2, 3 only, 2 and 4 only, 1, 3, 4 only, or 1, 2, 3 and 4. Ninth question. Karan is saying A, 1 and 2 only. Anybody else? The correct answer is B, 1, 2 and 3 only. No, second is also incorrect, है ना? Retail inflation remains above RBI's target. No, third is incorrect, है ना? So we have to remove third wherever it is, है ना? First is correct, है ना? Second, GDP growth in quarter 2 was highest in 6 quarters. This is also correct. Household consumption has been the strongest contributor to 1, 2 and 4. The answer should be 1, 2 and 4. The options are only wrong here, है ना? ठीक है, 1, 2 and 4 should be the answer. But household consumption has been the strongest contributor. No, not the strongest contributor. Manufacturing is the strongest contributor. So your answer should be A. So 9A, you guys have given me A as the answer. A is going to be the answer. Right, Karan, Kevlin, A is the answer. This is wrong. Okay? Chaliye. So that is all from my side, everyone. Thank you so much. I hope that this session was helpful to all of you. You can connect with me beyond these sessions. Mannat Educator is my Telegram handle. You can connect with me over here. If there's any doubt that you want to ask me, you can ask. Otherwise, we'll end the session over here and I will meet you in the next session now. Okay? Okay, Karan. You're welcome and thank you to all of you as well. Wish you all the best and have a great day. Okay, Kevlin. Bye bye. Have a